Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, gonna be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Wednesday, April the 6th. Shorter slate for Wednesday, just 6 games today, but as always guys, we're gonna talk through each one of these 6 games. We're gonna break down each team, kind of give my early thoughts, what I do like, taking a first look at the slate on Tuesday night. And then as we do go through each game, we will build out an early core. We'll talk about 5 players that specifically stand out to me on Draftkings and on Yahoo at first look. Now, as always, before we get started with the breakdown, would appreciate it if you guys would hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel and you have not yet, click that subscribe button as well. Do upload these videos, Monday through Friday. I said it in yesterday's video. I think when the playoffs get here, I'll probably start making content on the weekend as well, just because it's a lot easier to make content during the playoffs. The slates are shorter. They're easier to digest. So I might start uploading videos daily moving forward once we get to the playoffs, which will basically start next week. But yeah, guys, appreciate your support as always. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out the sponsor of the video too. If you're new here, you have not checked out PrizePicks yet, they are the sponsor of this video. You can check out PrizePicks using my promo code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. And PrizePicks, very simple DFS site to use. It's more focused on player props. So you're just picking the over or the under on players' projections. Not a ton has been posted yet for Wednesday, but obviously as we get closer to tip-off Wednesday night, they'll have their full board posted. There'll be a ton of projections up, and you're just picking over or under if you have a lean one way or the other. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 5 picks, and you can win up to 10 extra money on PrizePicks. So check them out, sign up, use code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. But yeah, guys, 6-game slate tonight. Let's start off with the first game of the night, the Dallas Mavericks and the Detroit Pistons. So looking at Dallas today, Dallas is normally a team with how they're set up. Normally, Luka's the guy that I really, prioritize on Dallas, and I don't ever really roster anyone else. We'll say that Maxi Kleber is out for today, which I think matters a little bit. Maxi Kleber being out definitely gives a bump up to Dwight Powell, 4,700. I think Dwight Powell kind of looks interesting today. He did have a really big game last game after, with Kleber out. Played 31 minutes, had 42 DraftKings points. One of the best games we've seen from Dwight Powell in a long time. Matchup against Detroit, I think, is pretty good. So, Dwight Powell, outside of Luka, I think Dwight Powell's kind of interesting at 4,700. I think his minutes are a little bit more secure without Maxi Kleber, just because that's one less guy that could take minutes away from Powell. But yeah, Luka's the guy that definitely stands out on Dallas. Obviously, this is a game that has a little bit of blowout risk. This Detroit team is just so bad. They're, I don't know what Dallas is favored by right now, but I'm sure they're big favorites. But Luka is just the entire offense for Dallas. If the game's close somehow, he'll play 35, 36 minutes. Dallas, I know, still does have something to play for. So, they're going to be trying to win these games, these final few games of the regular season. I expect Luka to play big minutes here as long as the Pistons can keep this game close. We know Luka is a super productive player when he's on the floor. He's a very high usage player. Luka's going to always be in play. We'll have to wait and see what kind of value we get today. We do have some teams on back-to-backs. Brooklyn is on a back-to-back. Chicago's on a back-to-back. Washington and Atlanta are both on back-to-backs. OKC and Utah are both on back-to-backs. And the Suns are on a back-to-back too. So a lot of teams that are playing today also played on Tuesday. So we could maybe see some guys rested today, which could open up value. If that's the case, Luka would definitely be one of the studs I'd want to try and get up to if I could. And then obviously Dwight Powell I like. And that's probably it from Dallas. I don't see really anything else I'm targeting here. And on the other side with Detroit, Detroit's one of these teams right now that they're just it's a scary team to roster. We saw Cade Cunningham just sit last game after he played 8 minutes. Supposedly he got injured, but I think they just sat him just because it was a game against OKC that they could have won. And obviously right now Detroit does not want to win games. K's not on the injury report for today though, so you'd have to think if this game's close, he plays his normal minutes. But the price tag's kind of high. The matchup is pretty bad. Dallas's defense has been one of the best in the league, so not a spot I'm really loving Cade. Sadiq Bey had a big game last game, but I think a lot of that had to do with Cade being out. He played only 23 minutes, which was crazy. He played so well, and he only played 23 minutes. That just shows you that Detroit is trying to lose. Sadiq Bey had a huge game last game, and they only played him 23 minutes. I just don't want to go there. There's not much I'm loving on Detroit. With Cade back, I think that takes Killian Hayes out of play. Isaiah Stewart at 4,900, maybe, but his minutes are always tough to predict. You could maybe go to Isaiah Livers or Braxton Key. I think with Marvin Bagley out, with Kelly Olynyk out, we probably will see one of those two guys start. So whichever one of Livers or Key starts, you could get some value there. Both these guys did play a lot last game, but I think a lot of that had to do with how the Pistons rotations went. Pistons do have Cade back for today, but they're still missing Jeremy Grant, Marvin Bagley, Diallo, Kelly O, Corey Joseph, McGruder. So I think you'll get decent minutes from both Livers and Key, and I think these are guys that they're probably going to play minutes regardless. I definitely think there's a possibility that Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham get their minutes cut a little bit. I don't think that'll be the case for like Isaiah Livers or Key. So definitely you could go there for value. I don't feel great about either one just because I think of their price tags. They don't offer a ton of upside at these price points, especially playing alongside Cade now. But again, like Detroit, like we don't know how much Detroit's going to play Cade here. We don't really know. They only played Sadiq Bey 23 minutes last game. Detroit is trying to lose. They don't want to win these games. It's obviously a game that has blowout risk. It's just really tough situations, man. We've kind of seen so far, these last week or so of the season is going to be crazy. We saw OKC literally sit 3 of their starters. They ran like a 6-man rotation on Tuesday. What these teams are going to do to lose is just crazy, which makes it so frustrating for DFS. You never know how many minutes a guy's going to play. So I don't know if Detroit's a team I'm really actively targeting outside of maybe Livers and Key. So that's it for that game. Next one, Brooklyn and New York. So looking at Brooklyn today, they are on a back-to-back, but they still need to win games right now. I think they're in the play-in tournament as of now, and I think they'll make the play-in tournament, but they can maybe move up in the seeding if they can still get some wins, wins. So I'm expecting Brooklyn to play their normal guys here. I'm expecting KD and Kyrie to both play even on the back-to-back. KD was not that great on a Tuesday against Houston. Played 37 minutes, only had 42 DK points. Matchup here against the Knicks, I think is fine for KD. Like this is a matchup he can have plenty of success in. I don't ever worry about matchup for KD. So KD is definitely viable. Kyrie was the guy that had the big game on Tuesday. He played 40 minutes, had 62 Draftkings points. It seems like when KD has a bad game, Kyrie usually goes off. If Kyrie has a bad game, then KD usually goes off. Normally, these guys both don't go off together. It's really hard for that to happen at their price tag. So if you want to play one of KD or Kyrie, I don't hate it. Honestly, since Kyrie's had such a big game on Tuesday, maybe that makes me more inclined to roster KD today. But I think both the top guys for Brooklyn are in play. Probably would still rather go to Luka, though, over them. And then you have Andre Drummond at 6,100. In this matchup against the Knicks, you would think they're going to need him out there for size because the Knicks are a pretty big team. Drummond's minutes were cut down against Houston on Tuesday, but he did get into foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in those 20 minutes that he played. Drummond's always been productive when he does get minutes, so like if he plays 25, 28 minutes here, at 6,100, like he's got the upside to pay off this price tag. His minutes were pretty good last time they played the Knicks. He played 27 minutes, so it's 6,100. Always risky option, but I think Drummond's viable. I'm not super excited about anyone else, though. Like Bruce Brown, playing with KD and Kyrie, I do kind of question his upside. He's been good lately, but I really think at 5,300, it's hard for Bruce Brown to really justify this price tag when he's playing with KD and Kyrie. Seth Curry was questionable Tuesday. He did not play. I don't know if Seth Curry's going to play today. That'll be something to monitor. If he gets ruled out, I don't think it matters too much. Goran Dragic, I think, is out. He's out for COVID protocol, so I'm guessing he'll be out again. But again, I don't think these are things that really matter too much. Patty Mills, I'm pretty sure started on Tuesday against Houston. He was mediocre as he's been all season. Even if he starts again, I'm not super high on Patty Mills. So that's really it for Brooklyn. Obviously, the guys that really stand out here are the top 2 guys, KD and Kyrie. But if you want to go to Andre Drummond, I think that's a viable option. Other side of this game, though, with the Knicks. So the Knicks, they've been eliminated from the playoffs, but they're still playing these games like they want to win. I mean, they're playing RJ Barrett big minutes. Even in a blowout last game, he played 33 minutes. He's been getting huge minutes lately, so I still expect RJ Barrett to play big minutes here if the game stays close. And without Julius Randle, the workload for RJ Barrett's going to be really good. I mean, his usage has been really good in the games he's played without Randle. The production's been there. I like the matchup against Brooklyn, so I think at 8K, RJ Barrett stands out as a really good option here. I like him quite a bit on both sides. He's very affordable on Yahoo at $33 as small forward. He's definitely one of my favorite small forwards on Yahoo, kind of at first look. Alec Burks has been playing well too. I think he benefits without Randle, but at 6,600, that price tag is just too high, in my opinion. I just can't get there at that price tag. It's really hard for Burks to justify that price. He doesn't offer that consistent upside to where you should be paying almost 7K for him. Emmanuel Quickly coming off the bench, he's been playing really well, but at 6,100, I just don't know if I can go there. I mean, he had a triple-double last game, and I expect Quickly to play big minutes rest of season, as they continue to try and develop some of these younger guys. But 6,100 for Quickly is really pricey. Just not a guy I really want to be paying that price tag for. Mitchell Robinson, I like the matchup for him against Brooklyn. I think this is a spot he can definitely excel against Andre Drummond. So, as a tournament play, I'm fine with Mitchell Robinson. He should play about 30, 32 minutes here. Again, I think he can excel against Drummond. Drummond's never been a great defender. So don't mind Mitchell Robinson. Do want to talk about Obi Toppin though. So without Julius Randle, pretty much the rest of the season, I expect Obi Toppin to start every game for the rest of the season for their final, 2 or 3, 4 games they have left. At 5,600, I think Obi Toppin's still a little bit too cheap, and I definitely like him on Yahoo as well, $17 over there. He's been good in the games that he started for Randle, especially as of late. Last game he started against Orlando, 35 minutes, 37 DK points. Against Cleveland, 31 minutes, 33 DK points. He started some games earlier this year, like against Charlotte, he started 40 minutes and 47 DK points. He's been a productive player, whenever Randle's been out and Toppin's been the starter. Matchup against Brooklyn, I think's fine here. He might be guarded by Kevin Durant. That's not a matchup that I love, but Obi Toppin's just, the minutes are going to be there. He's one of their young guys they're trying to develop, so I expect Toppin to play big minutes rest of season. At 5,600, he's got the upside to pay off this price tag when he's playing, 35, 36 minutes. So definitely high on Obi Toppin. Him and RJ Barrett I like quite a bit. And there's some other guys we talked about, like Mitchell Robinson you could go to. Don't think I'm considering anyone else on the Knicks, though. That's probably it for this team. So let's move on to the next game, Boston and Chicago. So looking at Boston today, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, I believe all of them are probable for this game. So they're all expected to play. I think Boston right now, I think they still have something to play for. They still can move up or down in the seeding. So I expect Boston to be trying to win this game. So I would expect normal minutes for Tatum, Brown, Horford. At their price tags, I don't think any of them stand out as priority plays today. Like, they're not going to be guys that I build around. But obviously, we know Tatum can put up a big game any night. No issue going there. Same with Jaylen Brown. Horford, I do like a lot with Robert Williams out. Like, Horford's been really productive without Robert Williams this season. Last 3 games with Williams out, 36, 42, and 34 Draftkings points for Horford. The Washington game, he lost out on some minutes because of blowout. He would have played, probably 3-4 extra minutes if that game stayed close. Probably could have scored like 40 DK points last game had it been a close game. Again, he's been productive as a starter when he starts at center, I should say. And Robert Williams is out once again, so I expect Horford to get a lot of minutes at center. They have been starting Daniel Tice lately, but that really hasn't affected Horford's production too much. He's still been really productive on a point per minute basis. The price tag obviously has come up a lot, but I still think Horford's viable here. Marcus Smart at his price tag, I'm not super high on. Derek White at his price tag, I'm not super high on. Daniel Tice, like I said, he's been starting, been getting decent minutes, but at 4,600, I think he's priced where he should be, if not a little bit too expensive. So I'm not loving a ton on the Celtics today, but I definitely think Horford, without Robert Williams, his production does see a boost. And 6,900, like, he could still pay off that price tag. But again, like, there's not a ton of standout plays coming from Boston today. And then on the other side with Chicago, so it's a back-to-back for the Bulls. We'll have to monitor the injury report here, but I would expect everyone plays because Chicago does need to win games right now. I think they're the 6th seed or the 5th seed right now, and they obviously want to keep winning games so they can keep that position and not have to play in the play-in tournament. So I would expect DeRozan to play here, even on the back-to-back. He played 37 minutes against Milwaukee on Tuesday. Sadly, they lost pretty badly, lost by 21. DeRozan had a huge game. Obviously, he really benefited without Zach LaVine, and it seems like Zach LaVine is expected back for today. LaVine did not play Tuesday, but it seems like he's going to play for Wednesday's game. So with LaVine back, like, there's not much that stands out from Chicago, especially since it's a tough matchup against Boston, and when the top 3 guys are all healthy, DeRozan, Vooch, LaVine. I've said it before, it's always tough to predict which one's going to have the big game, if any of them do. So I'm not loving much on the Bulls from the top side or from the top of the totem pole here, but I want to go down a little bit for cheap value. And right now, like I said, we don't have much cheap value on the slate, but I am looking to Patrick Williams as a value play. 3,500 on DK, he's really cheap. His minutes have been trending up. They were taking it easy on Patrick Williams when he first came back from injury. They were kind of limiting his minutes. As you can see, 19, 18, 17, 13, 14. Well, last few games, 25, 37, 30, and then on Tuesday he played 32 minutes. Now, this is a back-to-back, so we'll obviously have to monitor the injury report here, make sure Patrick Williams is playing. If he is playing, though, I think he continues to play about 25 to 30 minutes. He's 3,500. We don't have much value on the slate. Patrick Williams, the production this season has not been great. Like, you can look at his game log and see, even in the games where he's played decent minutes, he hasn't been super productive. But that's kind of been changing lately. The production's been, slowly getting better. The minutes have been trending up as well. The matchup against Boston is not one that I'm loving, obviously, but the price tag with the lack of value on this slate, I kind of like Patrick Williams as a first look value play. Again, he's cheap on Draftkings. He's cheap on Yahoo as well. So if you want to play him over there, $12 at the power forward position. I do like Patrick Williams as a value play. He's for sure my favorite play on Chicago today. And that's really it for that game. So let's move on to the next one, Washington and Atlanta. So looking at Washington today, they are also, on a back-to-back. We'll have to monitor the injury report for Washington. They're eliminated from the playoffs, so I'm kind of surprised that Porzingis is playing in back-to-backs right now. He only played 27 minutes on Tuesday in their win against Minnesota. For now, just expect him to play, but keep an eye on this. Porzingis obviously is someone that has dealt with injuries throughout his career. There's no need for them to push Porzingis right now, being eliminated from the playoffs. But if Porzingis does play, the matchup against Atlanta, not one that I love because, Clint Capella is a really good defender. He does a really good job defending the paint. Now, obviously, Porzingis can stretch out, he can shoot the three. He's a good shooter in general. But I still don't love the spot against Capella. I don't think Porzingis is going to be someone I really build around today. Kyle Kuzma's unlikely to play, so I don't expect him to play. I don't see much value I'm liking on Washington. KCP, Rui, Denny Avia, these guys just don't offer a ton of upside. Worth noting that Washington did run pretty much an 8-man rotation for Tuesday's game. I don't know if they're going to do that today. If they run an 8-man rotation again, then yeah, like Denny Avia probably gets good minutes. He played 36 minutes on Tuesday. Does he play 36 minutes today? I would be surprised if he does. But at least worth noting that they did kind of tighten their rotation on Tuesday. Ish Smith played good minutes off the bench. Again, I don't know if this continues, but against Atlanta, I think Denny Avia is worth a sprinkle. I think Ish Smith is maybe worth a sprinkle. But I'm not loving too much on the Wizards today. Not a team I'm super high on. And then on the other side with Atlanta also on a back-to-back. I'm pretty sure they lost to Toronto. Yeah, they lost by 10 to Toronto on Tuesday. Trae Young, had a solid game, even in a tougher matchup. Had 55 DK points in 37 minutes. Well, this is not a tough matchup today. The Wizards defense, they've been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season. In terms of defensive rating, Wizards are 25th in defensive rating. So I like to spot quite a bit for Trae. I think at 10,500, him and Luka are kind of my two favorite pay-up options, at least at first look. Definitely like Trae at this price tag, and I think on Yahoo, Trae looks pretty good over there as well at $46. Again, with it being such a shorter slate, we don't have a ton of spins, but Trae is someone that I do kind of have circled in a good matchup against the Wizards. Hopefully this game can stay close, and if Trae plays his full minutes here, I think he has a lot of upside against this bad Wizards team, so pretty high on Trae. I think Clint Capella's in a good spot as well. Clint Capella's kind of been a guy that I've been off of lately. He's not been super productive, but we know Capella can put up a big game any night, and we've seen the Wizards just get killed by bigs this season. I think this could definitely be a spot where Capella gets like a big double-double, maybe 20 and 20 type of double-double. We always know that Capella can block shots as well. He's a tournament option for sure. That's probably it from Atlanta. I don't think I'm getting to Bogdan or Kevin Huerter or DeAndre Hunter. You could sprinkle those guys in, but probably nothing more than that for me. So let's move on to the next game. We got two more, OKC and Utah. So like I said, OKC, they did some weird shit on Tuesday. They basically ran like a 6-man rotation. Theo Maledon, Pokusevski, and Trey Mann was out, so he didn't play. But Theo Maledon, Poku, and Aaron Wiggins, those three guys were removed from the starting lineup, and they just didn't play. It wasn't reported that they were out or anything, or they were inactive. They just decided not to play them. I don't know if it's because it was a back-to-back or if they were just trying to lose. I would think those guys are going to be back for today. I would think Theo Maledon's going to play, Poku's going to play, Aaron Wiggins is going to play. If that's the case, I'm really not liking anything on OKC today because OKC did sign a couple of guys. They do have a lot of bodies. They had 11 available players on Tuesday. They only played 7 of those 11 players. I don't think JRE played either. But I think all those 11 guys are going to be available today. So if OKC has 11 available players, I'm just going to be avoiding this team. They're actively trying to lose games right now. They're really spreading out the minutes. Obviously, you saw Jalen Horde have a massive game on Tuesday. He played almost the entire game, but that was just because they ran basically a 6-man rotation. I think today they're probably going to, the guys that didn't play Tuesday are probably going to play today. So I don't expect 46 minutes from Jalen Horde. I think he most likely gets back to 22, 24. Just because OKC is going to have more players available now. If OKC does some weird shit again and they only play, they run out the same starting lineup they did yesterday, they only run a 7-man rotation, then yeah, Jalen Horde is going to look great. Lindy Waters is going to play, I would think, a decent amount, but he only played like 17 minutes or 4 minutes actually. He got off to a really hot start, and literally because OKC was trying to lose, I think they benched Lindy Waters because he was playing so well. It's so funny. This is what we're having to deal with right now in the NBA. A team is trying to lose so bad that when a player starts playing well, they get benched. So does Lindy Waters play good minutes today? I don't know. It's just, God, it's a team I don't really want to be avoiding. They signed Simpson and Kalazakis. Those guys got some minutes. How much do those guys play today? I really don't know. We're going to have to pay attention to starting lineup. We're going to have to see how many available players OKC actually has. If they have enough available players, 11 or 12 guys, and the starting lineup is what it normally is, nothing much stands out here, especially in a tougher matchup against Utah. But on the other side, looking at Utah, obviously really good matchup for them going up against OKC. I think Utah is another team that still needs to win games right now to, kind of, they want to move up in the plate or their seeding. So I expect Utah to be going, all out here trying to win this game. It is a back-to-back for Utah, which is worth noting. Maybe somebody rest here, like maybe they rest Mike Conley. We've seen Mike Conley rest on back-to-backs before. Obviously, if Mike Conley rests, we kind of know who that benefits. It benefits Donovan Mitchell, benefits Jordan Clarkson. Bojan would get a bump too. But for now, I'm just going to expect everyone to play. If that's the case, I think Donovan Mitchell at 8,500 is firmly in play here. Like the matchup against OKC, OKC's defense is terrible. They're not going to be able to stop Donovan Mitchell here. It's just a matter of if OKC can keep this game close to where Mitchell plays his full minutes. If he does, I think he's got plenty of upside. Love the spot for Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert should absolutely dominate against OKC. They've already played 3 times this season. Gobert's been pretty good against OKC. 44.5 DK points and at an average of over 44 DK points through 3 games against the Thunder. And when you look at the Thunder, where they struggle is in the paint. They allow, I think, like the most points to centers, the most rebounds to centers, and in terms of fantasy points allowed to the center position, I'm pretty sure they're like top in the league in that category as well. Like, this is about as good of a matchup as it gets for Gobert. This could definitely be one of those spots where Gobert has a big double-double. He could block a lot of shots. He's for sure one of my favorite center plays at first look. I love the spot for Gobert. I love the matchup, and I think he should crush this OKC team. So I definitely like Gobert on both sides, $34 on Yahoo. If you want to play him over there, I think he stands out as a really strong option. And like I said, keep an eye on the injury report here since it is a back-to-back. If Mike Conley rests, I would have a lot of interest in Jordan Clarkson. I think Bojan would get a bump as well. Those guys would look more appealing, if they decide to sit Conley or something. But that's it for Utah. I think we can go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, the Suns and the Clippers. So looking at the Suns today, Suns are also on a back-to-back, so this is going to be something to monitor. The Suns, I don't think they need to win games right now. They're pretty much locked into the 1 seed. I think they have like a 6 or 7 game lead on the Grizzlies for the 1 seed. So do the Suns rest guys today? Like, I think it's possible. Going to have to monitor the injury report here. For now, I'm just going to expect everyone to play. If that's the case, like, there's not a ton I love on Phoenix. Phoenix, as I'm making this video, they're beating down on the Lakers. It's actually 102-80 right now, heading into the fourth quarter. So, the starters might not even play in the fourth quarter for Phoenix on Tuesday, which makes it more likely they play today. But Phoenix did kind of limit the minutes a little bit for their starters in the first half. Like, I think Devin Booker only played like 15 minutes in the first half when normally he plays like 19. I don't know if Phoenix is going to be really pushing their guys these last few games. Like, Phoenix, they're locked into their playoff spot. They can't go up or down in the standings, so it doesn't matter if they lose or win. Their last few games, it has no impact on them. So I'm definitely worried about, Devin Booker maybe not playing 38, 40 minutes like he normally would. Maybe he only plays like 30, 32. Same could be said for Chris Paul. Same could be said for DeAndre Ayton. It's a tough situation. Booker and Paul are always viable, but I think they do carry a little bit more risk at this point in the season with Phoenix, pretty much locked into their playoff spot and not having anything to play for. Same goes for Ayton. He's always viable. The matchup is pretty good against the Clippers, but I'm definitely worried that his minutes are not super high. So as of now, I'm not loving much on the Suns, but we'll have to pay attention to the injury report here. Would not be surprised if some guys get rested, and if that's the case, then then we're going to probably want to attack the spot. Then there would be value to go to, but we'll just have to wait and see there. And then on the other side with the Clippers, so the Clippers, I think, still need to win games. I think they are officially in the play-in tournament, but they can maybe move up to maybe like the 9 seed or the 8 seed. I'm not exactly sure about that. I would think the Clippers are still going to be trying to win here. Paul George, at 9,500. Don't love the spot for him against Phoenix. Tough matchup. Obviously, Phoenix is a really good defensive team. Paul George has been really good since he's come back from his injury. He's been productive in the minutes he's played, but again, I don't love this matchup, so I don't think I'm going to be going too heavy on Paul George here. I think I'd rather just get up to like Trae Young or Luka or even KD or Kyrie if I could get to them. Reggie Jackson, they said they were going to limit him to 32 minutes, and that's just been thrown out the window. 37 minutes against Utah, 40 minutes against the Bulls. I guess Reggie Jackson plays like 34, 35 minutes here. At 6,200, like, I don't hate Reggie Jackson on this slate as a mid-range guard option. Robert Covington is 6K, no interest in me. Norman Powell is doubtful, so not expected to play just yet, but he can maybe be back, in time for the play-in tournament. We'll have to see there. I don't think there's anything else I'm liking on the Clippers. Marcus Morris at 5,200 has just been a complete roller coaster this season. He'll have a couple of good games, then he'll be shit for a week, and then he'll come back and have a couple of good games. He has had 2 back-to-back good games, so maybe this is kind of a trend in the right direction for Marcus Morris. But he's just been so unpredictable this season, so tough to predict. Now that Paul George is back, like I don't think that's good for Marcus Morris. If anything, that's a bad thing. So don't love Marcus Morris today, but it is worth noting that he has been playing better lately, and the price tag is still somewhat cheap at $5,200. But I really don't think I'm going to be going too heavy on many Clippers here. Probably my favorite Clipper is like Reggie Jackson, but in general, not a team I'm super high on. So that's it for this game, and that's it for these 6 Wednesday games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. As always, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button as well if you are new here. Go check out the sponsor of the video. As we mentioned, PrizePicks. You can sign up with my promo code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. And you can take a look at PrizePicks board for Wednesday. Make some picks for yourself. As always, I do provide some of my favorite plays on PrizePicks each day. I will post a video sometime on Wednesday, early afternoon, with a couple of plays I like for today's slate on PrizePicks. So if you already play on PrizePicks, you can check out that video, see some of the plays I like for today. And if you are new and you want to check out PrizePicks, make sure to sign up with promo code NOAH. You do get a deposit bonus when you sign up with my promo code. But that's it for this video, guys. Wish you the best of luck tonight. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.